Right, I'm using this video to give an update on how learning the gym instructor material is going. I would want to say learning the personal training course material yet, but I'm not at that level. I have to do this this level 2 gym instructor course in order to get to that level 3 personal training, and then eventually level 4. Just become my aim is to become very qualified. I want PT sessions off camera in full swing, and the programs I'm thinking of having in full swing. That's why I get the personal training qualifications. However, I also would like to get yoga instructor qualifications to help me out with my calisthenics moves. And then I'd also get, if I can do it through a provider how I'm doing it now with the gym instructor course material, I'd also like to do something dietitian related. So I have background knowledge of food behind me, and that when I'd be talking, it would come from a qualified place. That's why I'm doing this. But to get on with the main topic of the video, how is it going? How is learning the course material going? Well, yesterday I was just skimming through many pages, genuinely anywhere from 50 to 100. It's easy. It may sound like a lot, but it is easy when you're skimming through them. Something went in, but not much at all. I wanted to learn about motivation because I'm rather interested in that subject, because I want to build more self-trust than I already have with going about every day how I plan to. That's why I'm interested in it, and I'd be able to learn about motivation through the gym instructing course, because as a part of the course you have to understand how to motivate clients. But I think one thing that they've missed is how to motivate yourself. I think that's one thing that they haven't spoken about, which would be helpful. Also, critical thinking skills. The course talks about using active listening skills so that you're paying attention to your client and what the client's saying. For me, that's just the equivalent of hearing. But if you don't have critical thinking skills, how are you going to be able to digest what the client's saying and also be able to give the most useful answer or the most helpful answer to your clients? I don't know, but I do know that I've learned something, and I've made a tick box system on the whiteboard to have some form of tracking system so that I stick with it every day, and if I don't, it's there right in front of my face every single time I'm in this room. So, as I said, I was skimming through the course material through the the manual, not much went in. The only thing I really remembered was about BMI. Yes, after yesterday, after looking at it last night, I now understand how to calculate BMI, its flaws, or at least one of its major flaws, and what it's actually used for. Also, the class that you're in, depending on your BMI. For example, they say that if your BMI is less than 18.5, you're underweight. 18.5 to 24.9 normal weight, 25 to 29.9 overweight, and then it keeps on going in fives like that. And then after the overweight one, you have obese class 1, then obese class 2, and obese class 3. You calculate BMI by dividing your height by dividing your weight by your height, your squared height or something. So basically it's your weight in kilograms divided by, and then in brackets, your height times your height. For me, that would be 73.49 divided by 1.81 squared, or 1.81 times 1.81, and that comes to 22.43, around about. Rounded to the second decimal place, that's what it equals. So according to the BMI scale, I am a normal weight, but I'd want to be much closer to, or if not on, the overweight side, or overweight, borderline obese side, in terms of the BMI calculation. Because in my mind, heavier weight equals more muscle, because I'd be training. I wouldn't just be letting myself go. And that's where one of the major flaws are in the BMI calculation. BMI only takes height and weight into account, not body composition. So BMI, it says in the course manual, for example, BMI for athletes and bodybuilders, for example, is pretty useless, because it doesn't take, it's pretty inaccurate. Not necessarily useless, but inaccurate, because it doesn't take body composition into account. Say, for example, your BMI is obese class 1 and you have a lot of muscle on you, of course you're not obese. That's what I learned yesterday, and it's one thing, and I have the manual open where I left off. Through scrolling through all of those pages, that's what stuck in the mind. That's what I stayed on for quite a while, looking at BMI and that, understanding what it's about. It does help that I've seen BMI in the past, so I already had an extremely vague idea of what it's about, but I didn't know about all of its classes in that. I would have been able to guess, underweight, normal weight, overweight, obese. But I think if I were to look at it in the past, if I were to have guessed without looking at the course material, I probably would have thought that, if I were asked, I probably would have thought that I probably would have forgot about underweight. It would have been normal weight, overweight, or maybe even normal weight and then straight to obese, and then morbidly obese, even though there's not a class for that. There isn't a class for morbidly obese. It's either class 1, class 2, or class 3. And that's what I've learned. And the way how I plan to carry on learning is by using that tick box system to be able to stick to it every single day. Just like in the bio, I put every day is the answer. If you're in the right frame of mind to be able to receive that information and understand what it means, you will. If it's not obvious to you, but you are serious about this journey, it will eventually make sense. That's how the learning's going. I really do have to carry on building self-trust. Self-trust. And like Kai Green says, or in Kai Green's words, build on the ability to be able to follow through with daily disciplines, to be able to create an efficient day, and then eventually start stringing the efficient days more and more consecutively, day after day after day. And then from there, in his words, he says, when you do that, you'll be able to build success. I think, whatever success means to you, I personally think that my consistency with the YouTube channel, it's helped me build consistency. But now I have to grow more roots to this tree. I believe that I build consistency. However, I also need to build control. Controlling the intensity I work out at in the gym, or potentially maybe not even in the gym after long enough. I mean, I'd be doing the online stuff. I'd have many sources of passive income. I might eventually have so many sources of income that I wouldn't actually need to go in to a gym, for example, and have personal training sessions and have clientele that way. We'll see, but I do know that I have to build trust in my ability to be able to learn the content every single day. But the exams, they're coming up in a few months, in September around about. And I need to be able to trust in my ability that I know everything about the course. Maybe not necessarily the practical side of things, because we'll get taught that, but knowing and trusting in my ability. I really think, just as the course tutor said, I'd have to have a game plan as to how I'll go about the exam. It certainly isn't the be all and end all as they make it seem. However, there are going to be, it reminds me of what Alpha Male Strategy said. There are going to be some things about what you truthfully want to do that you will dislike. You won't necessarily like it 100%. Do I agree with all of his views? No, but I do agree with that one. I don't necessarily agree with his views on dating, but I'll tell you what, I do agree that you won't necessarily like everything about what you truthfully want to do, or what he would call your purpose. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This is how it's going, but how I want it to go, sooner or later, I want things to get more intense. I want to learn more deeply instead of just skimming through the pages. Yeah, it's a start, but I want to be able. I eventually want to be getting very deep in my learning. I don't know what I'm going to be able to do that, but no, I don't know what I'm going to have to do for that to happen. But it's something that I have to work on. I do have an idea though. Just like with basketball, for example, I'm fully immersed in shooting hoops when I do play. I have to find complete immersion in what I do. It may help if I go outside, in the garden and learn. I also need to find numerous learning techniques that will help me be able to not only pass the exam, but more importantly, know what I'm talking about long term, because that is more important to me. Knowing what I'm talking about long term is a lot more important to me than passing the exam, because I can't consider myself trustworthy if I'm only focusing on my exams, and I'm only focused on passing the exams, in the sense where if that is the top of the top, that's the be all and end all in my mind, then I may see a lot less value in what I've paid for, and then from there I may start forgetting many things that are extremely important that you must know in order to be a gym instructor, and then eventually a personal trainer. If I were a client, which I have been quite a few times now, I wouldn't want to be with someone that clearly doesn't know what they're talking about. That is clearly showing me that I know more than that person there. As someone that isn't a qualified personal trainer or even gym instructor, I don't know exactly what I'm going to have to do in order to learn the content in a way that will mean that I allow myself to remember everything long term. However, I do know this: in order for me to have these personal training sessions in full swing and the online programs, in order for people to want to buy them, I'm going to have to know a lot. So in terms of improving how much value I have to the world, I'm going to have to start learning a lot. Creating a lot will help. Creating more than just the videos. For instance, writing, that's going to help a lot. That's going to help me not overconsume. And it may actually also help me apply. It may also be the thing that I do that means I apply what I've learned and question what I learned, more importantly. Just because I paid for the course doesn't mean that I should follow it blindly. I.e., they say you should do 12 reps a set when working out, ideally. But that's not necessarily the case. Maybe you're looking for endurance. Maybe there's another way, a more efficient way to go about muscle growth in terms of how many sets and reps you do, rather than just doing 12 reps for hypertrophy. I don't really even know what hypertrophy means. And I was looking at the course material. I don't even know what stroke volume means. I don't know what that means. It could be something to do with the heart. I don't know. There's a lot I don't know, but hence there's a lot I don't know, and it makes sense as to why I'm in the position I'm in with no money coming in, because I don't really know much in this field. I don't know much in the field of gym instructing, and I'm not qualified. I'm not coming from a place where I'm on the way to becoming qualified. The exams are coming, And I have to build trust by consistently learning and controlling how intense I go with my learning. Hey, I forgot where I was going with that, but I do know that in order for money to come in big time, I've got to learn a lot. I have a lot to learn. In order to get a lot, you have to know a lot, and you have to put a lot in. You have to put a lot in to get a lot out, and you have to know a lot. A lot of information that's useful. We're going to be learning every day anyway, whether it be through listening to music lyrics over and over and over again, or watching a documentary, for example. We're going to be learning every single day as humans anyway, because we look for stimulation. Past the point we can survive, we can walk, we can crawl, we can run, we can eat solid food, and we can say goo goo gaga and speak our native language. We're going to be looking for stimulation, and we do that through listening, we do that through consuming, we do that through creating. So as we're going to be consuming anyway, we may as well consume information about what we truthfully want to be doing, or what we truthfully have interest in. Not something that you consume and then say, oh no, I don't want to be watching this. I don't want to be watching this. Hey. Right, I think that's it. That's all I have to say for now. But that's how it's going. I mean, I've skimmed through all the pages. The pages stuck together where it turns, where the hole punches, where each page has been punched, hole punch, sorry. They stick a bit, so I've had to unstick all of them. That was my excuse to turn through all the pages for the first time. I think this is the second time I'm looking through most of the pages, but the very first time I was just turning the pages. I didn't even want to learn much, because I knew that I hadn't built the skills to be able to learn a lot. So the aim was to literally just make a start, just start turning the pages. Just start turning the pages. You don't even have to expect anything of yourself. You don't have to expect to learn anything, but just turn the pages, man. I think that's it. You have to make a start. Yeah, that's like step one. Step one's making a start. Then step two is building consistency every day. And then for me, step three, which I'm now having to work on, is controlling the intensity of how much I do every day in the gym, and how much I learn, and how much I create as well, how much I rest too. And I think me doing this is naturally going to build a routine for me. That's got to be what I do to build a routine, instead of making something on the iPhone and then not following it. I know that Ice Cold JT and Hamza have done that. They've shown routines that they made on their iPhone, but even though I have done this, I haven't stuck to it. Is that their fault? Not at all. But these are just facts. I made that routine and I didn't stick to it. I've made so many routines, even before discovering self-improvement, during like A-level times, for example. I made routines, but I just didn't stick to them. But hey, yeah, now's the time to really work on control being able to not only trust in myself that I'll do what I plan to do every day, but control how much I learn, control how intense I go and train, control when I go to sleep, control how much I eat, control what I eat, that sort of thing. But anyway, I think that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something valuable, and I'll see you in the next one. Do what you have to do to transform your life, lads and lasses. I'm gone. See you later. Bye. I'll see you in the next one, because this isn't the only video I'm uploading today. Every day is the answer, and for me, it seems like making more than one video a day is what I'm doing to be able to really just live a life that I truthfully want to lead. But yeah, I'm gone. I'll see you lot later. Bye.